welcome to my channel Ayurveda Samhita. This is Dr. Chaitra. As most of them are having exams, and this time I have taken the few minutes to revise the entire syllabus of Padartha Vijnana. First we'll go for paper 1. So it is a quick revision related to all the topics which you are not supposed to forget during examination time. So the first topic everyone knows, this is about Ayurveda nirupana. So what exactly Ayurveda nirupana and what are the important points comes into that, that's what you need to remember. So under Ayurveda nirupana, so first and the foremost is what is the definition of Ayu? Sharirendriya Sattvatma Samyoga Dhari Jivitam Nityagascha Anubandhascha Paryayahi Ayuchate. Here you need to remember about Paryaya, it may come for MCQs, that is Dhari, Jivitha, Nityaga and Anubandha. And what are components of Ayu? Sharira, Indriya, Sattva and then Atma. So Sattva, definition of Sattva or the Manas. Next Atma and its definition. Then what is Indriya? How many Indriyas are there? And Ekadasha Indriya, repeatedly they are asking for MCQ. That also you need to remember. And what is the definition of Sharira and different definitions like Doshadatu, Malamulam, Hi Shariram, all those things. And what is Veda? Veda means Jnana. And next is what is the definition of Ayurveda? So hitayitam sukam dukkam ayuhu tasya hitayitam manam cha tacha yatroktam ayurveda sauchate. So this says about the definition, and also it says about the 4 different varieties of ayu. So the first is hitayu, ahitayu, sukhayu and dukhayu. And sukhayu lakshanas and hitayu lakshanas are most important when we think about MCQs. So why means any of the sukhayu lakshanas they may ask with MCQ. And the options, like if you are not reading this or if you are not bahated with the shloka, then obviously the some of the lakshanas may confuse you. So for that purpose, I suggest to read the Sukhayu Lakshana shloka and also Ithayu Lakshana shloka. And regarding the mana word refers to the measurement of this Ayu. So how exactly you will measure and all those things with an example. So if at all, if it comes for SAQ and LAQ, like how exactly you will answer. So for that purpose. And next one, moving on to the next topic, Siddhanta. So Siddhanto nama saya parikshakaihi bahuvida pariksha hetuvischa sadhayitva stapyate nirnayaha. Here stapyate nirnayaha you need to remember, and next parikshakaihi and bahuvida pariksha. So the definition of Siddhanta is like when you can call that is Siddhanta means when parikshakaihi and bahuvida pariksha. Next, Stapyata Nirnayaha. So such things can be named as Siddhanta. And Chaturveda Siddhanta everyone knows. So what are Chaturveda Siddhantas means? Sarvatantra Siddhanta, Pratyantra Siddhanta, Adhikarana Siddhanta and Abhava Siddhanta. Remember these numbers, like how many varieties and all other things. So why I am saying this means repeatedly, like they'll ask for MCQs. The Siddhantas are how many? 4, 3, 2, 1 or none of the above, that might be. And Sarvatantra Siddhanta, Pratyantra, Adhikarana and Abhipagama Siddhanta, remember this order also. Next, Sarvatantra Siddhanta, for all the Siddhantas, like you should be knowing shloka and where exactly the reference of it, and along with that you should also know the example shloka. So I'll just read out the shloka and we'll move on to next one. Sarvatantra Siddhanto nama tasmin sarvasmin tantre. It is a universal theory where everyone have accepted it. Tat prasiddham tatha yatha santi nidhanani santi vyadayaha santi siddhyupayaha sadhyanam ithi. Yatha santi, everyone have agreed with nidhanani vyadayaha. There is nidhana for causing a vyadis, and there are the vyadis, and for this vyadhi there will be like upaya or chikitsa. So this theory is accepted by everyone. And next, Prajatantra Siddhanta. Prajatantra Siddhanto nama tasmin ekaikasmin tantre. Ekaikasmin means it is an individualistic theory. It is not accepted by everyone, but individual will give the evidence for it and accept it. So tat prasiddham yatha anyatra ashtau. Anyatra refers to like others will say ashtau rasaha shadatraha. So few will say 8 and few will say 6. Panchendriyani anyatra shadindriyani anyatra tantre vathadikritah sarvavikara. Vata always cause for almost all the diseases, they will say. And few will say not only Vata, along with that we also have Bhutakritascha prasiddhaha. So this is what we'll call it as individualistic theory. And next is Adhikarana Siddhanta. Adhikarana Siddhanto nama स यस्मिन् अधिकरणे प्रस्तूयमाने सिद्धानि अन्यानि अपि अधिकरणानि भवन्ति. Here adhikarana refers to contextual theory, means By proving one context, even other contextual things also will get proved. So we'll see examples. Na muktah karmanubandikam kurute nispruhatvat iti prastute siddhaha karmafala moksha purusha prithya bhava bhavanti. So when person was dealing with karma anubandha, so or they were explaining about a mukta, then all other theories like karmafala, moksha, purusha, prithya bhava, everything will be proved once again. So and next Abhyupagama Siddhanta. Abhyupagama Siddhanta nama sa yamartam asiddham aparikshitam. These wordings are important. Repeatedly they'll ask for MCQs. And you also remember about Vada Kale. I'll just read out the shloka once. Abhyupagama Siddhanto nama sa yamartham asiddham aparikshitam anupadishtam ahetukam va Vada Kale abhyupagachanti vishajaha. Tadhyatha dravyam pradhanam iti krutva vakshyamaha gudam pradhanam iti krutva vakshyamaha viryam pradhanam iti krutva vakshyamaha iti. So Abhyupagama Siddhanta is can be considered as one of the Siddhanta, but still it is not proven one, or it is not accepted. Still it is in under Vadakala, or the discussion which is still going on. So Siddhanta definition we have, no, like Parikshaka, Bahuvida Parikshaihi, it is still in that moment. It has not been finalized. So such things will be named under Abhyupagama Siddhanta. And example is, when the context comes, then generally we'll feel that that is pradhana. So for that they had given this example. Dravyam pradhanam iti krutva vakshyamaha, gunam pradhanam iti krutva vakshyamaha, viryam pradhanam iti krutva vakshyamaha. So Siddhantas are 4, and total Vadhamarga is 44, and Siddhanta is one among the Vadhamarga. Where is the reference means Charaka Vimanasthana. And there are few more topics which is included in the syllabus. That is, you need to know about Nityatva and Trisutra of Ayurveda. So you have already read in Charaka Samhita first chapter, and the same thing you need to represent here. And there is one more way. What are the basic principles of Ayurveda? So basic principles of Ayurveda means, remember all the syllabus copy of Padartha Vijnana and what exactly the contribution of this particular topic in Ayurveda. So that is what, and we can expect such a variety of significance level of questions for 10 marks also, and even for 5 marks also. So make sure that you will write all the contents. And there is one more, the most expected question is the components of Ayu. So this is what composition of Ayu, you know, that is Sharira, Indriya, Sattva and Atma. Here how you need to write answer means, first one, the composition of Ayu, write the definition of Ayu, and later what is the definition of Sharira, Indriya, Sattva and then Atma. So Sharira, you know, Shiryate Anena iti Shariram and all those things. Like if you have added many shlokas related to Sharira, you just write it. And next Indriya, Indriya refers to like Indrasya Lingam Indriyam, we'll call it as, and how many Indriyas are there. Sendriyam, Chetanam, Dravyam, Nirindriyam, Achetanam, you can include that also. And what are Ubhayendriyas, and what is Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, all those things. And after that you go for Sattva. Sattva is also named as Manas, you can write this Sthana. And Lakshana Manasu Jnanasya, that shloka you can write. And next one is Atma. So for our understanding how the Atma can be divided into what is Jivatma, what is Paramatma, and what is Atma Lakshana, and how you can say the person is living. And when all this Samyoga present, then Ayu you can call it as. When all this Samyoga is not there, then you can call it as the person is not living. So for our easy understanding, you can say the Ayu is such that Ayu refers to life, and Ayu is such that right from the Janana till the Marana, what exactly the period of time the person is living. So that's what we'll call it as Ayu. Moving on to next chapter. Second one is Padartha and then Darshana Nirupana. So here what is Padartha and what exactly the definition of the Padartha, all those things which is not there in this book. I mean, it's not much highlighted. All those things, all points related to Pada and then Padartha, that also you need to understand. They had given in the end. Let me open that. Yes, this one, Padartha. And Padartha Nirupana, here you need to understand what is Pada, what is Artha and what is Padartha. So when it comes for Padartha Lakshana, you need to remember one particular shloka, that is this Shannam api Padarthanam Astitvam Abhidheyatvam Neyatvam. These are all the 3 Lakshanas. Astitva refers to having existence, Abhidheyatva refers to having nomenclature or identity, and Neyatva refers to having knowability. So these are all the Padartha Samanya Lakshanas. And there are few other definitions also, like everyone have added this Padasya Padayoho Padanam Vartha Padartha. Next, Abhidheyatva Padartha Samanya Lakshanam, Pramiti Vishyaha Padartham, or that which is of which gives the jnana, that considered as Padartha. And Padam Pratipadyo Arthaha Padarthaha. And Padasya Padayoho already I have said. Padhyate Gamyate Yena Arthaha Tat Padarthaha. And what is Padha? Padha refers to Padam cha Varna Samoha. And here only you can read what is Vakya and all other things. And but this shloka, you should never ever to forget it. So this is what the most expected shloka under the heading of Padartha. And how many padarthas are there and what is the order? So you know the padartha in Charaka Samhita, it is considered as Shad Karanas, and the same in Darshanas it is named as Shad Padarthas. And the Shad Karanas, the order starts from Samanyam cha Vishesham cha Guna and Karma cha, and Shad Padartha order starts from the Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha and Samaya. So, and yeah, here it is, the reference. Samanyam cha Vishesham cha Guna and Karma cha Samvayam cha Tajnatvam Tantroktam Vidimastitaha. So this is called as Shad Karanas. And according to Nyaya Darshana, total we have 16 padarthas. And here one more. The another expected question is what is Padartha Sankhya according to different acharyas. That also you need to remember. And all these things may come for MCQ. And it is under the heading of must to know. So read this. And it is like how many padarthas they have accepted. Yoga Darshana accepted 26 tattvas, Vedanta accepted 2, and Madhvacharya says about 10 padarthas. Sankhya Darshana, they also explains about the padarthas, and Nyaya Darshana says about 16 padarthas. All these things you need to remember. And next, coming to classification of padartha, Dvividham evam kalu sarvam satcha, asatcha. So first classification is Sat and second classification is Asat. So Sat refers to like that which is existing, or Sat is also named as Bhava Padartha, and Asat is considered as Abhava Padartha. That which is existing we'll call it as Bhava, that which is not existing we'll call it as Abhava. So this is also an important one. And Bhava Padartha, regarding that, like generally we'll say that there are 6 padarthas and all other things comes for Bhava Padartha itself. And Abhava is, once again we have another one more context or one more topic. So under that we'll read detail, but still as it's a revision session I am revising here itself. So Abhava Padartha, so Samsarga Bhava and Anyonya Bhava is the basic classifications. And under Samsarga Bhava we have Prag Bhava, Pradvamsa Bhava and Atyanta Bhava. When something is not existing, for that also we have named in Ayurveda, or we have named that in Padartha, so that's what we'll call it as Abhava. And regarding application point of view of Padartha, this one you need to remember. Once again, reference from Charaka Sutra, Ityuktam Karanam Karyam Dhatu Samya Mihochate. And also one more, Dhatu Samya Kriya Chokta Tantrasya Sya Prayojanam. Yes, even that is also important. And this is related to like the first term, whatever the syllabus related to the first paper. And second term syllabus, first one Dravya Vijnaniyam, Guna Vijnaniyam and Karma Vijnaniyam. We have Samanya, Vishesha, Samaya and Abhava and all other things. So we'll start from Dravya now. So Dravya Vijnaniyam, so one like highest marks or highest weightage is for this particular topic. So I suggest before going for exam you need to revise this. And Dravya Vijnaniyam, what exactly the like what are most expected question means what is Dravya, and next is what is classification of Dravya they ask. And the few of the things like Karana Dravyas and Karya Dravyas, like Navakarana Dravyas they may ask for long essay. And a few of the classifications of Dravya may be like an 2 tricky questions or specific questions for MCQs. And related to Pancha Mahabhuta, it's a very huge topic, like they may give anything for 5 marks. And altogether Pancha Mahabhuta, Utpatti and Srishti Utpatti Krama all may come for the long essay. And I remembered now, I have forgotten Darshana itself. Like first let me revise the Dravya and then we'll go for Darshanas. So Dravya Vijnana we have already started. So Dravya, so basic classifications, first one is definition will go for, next we'll go for classifications. So definition, Yatra Ashrita Karma Gunaha Karanam Samvaya Yatta Dravyam, Yatra Ashritaha Karma Gunaha. Dravya is such that which is giving Ashraya for Karma and then Guna. Karanam Samvayata Dravyam, and also it resides with Samvaya Sambandha. So such things will name it as Dravya. And we had any 3 or 4 definitions of Dravya like Gunatvam, Dravyatvam, Jatimatvam, Dravyam, Samanya Lakshanam, or else you can read about Dravya Lakshanam to Kriya Gunavas Samvaya Karanam, any few things you can Bahat. And regarding the classification of Dravya, so basic we have two classifications. One is Karana Dravya and another one is Karya Dravya. Here Karana Dravyas are 9, which is also called as Nava Karana Dravyas. Nava refers to 9 here, not new one. And Karya Dravyas are Appari Sankheya. They are innumerable, you can call it as. Next, so what are those Karana Dravyas? Kadini Atma Manaha, Kalo Vishesha Dravya Sangraha. So Khadini here refers to Akashadi Mahabhutas. So total Panchamahabhuta 5. Next Atma 1, Mana 1, Kaala 1, Dik 1. So total we have 9 Karana Dravyas. Next Vishesha Darshana, also called Navakarana Dravyas, and Panchamahabhuta and their significance you need to remember. And the one more suggestion from my side, always go through with this for MCQ. So what are Murta Dravyas you need to remember. What are Amurta Dravyas you need to remember. Murta Dravyas are Prithvi, Ap, Teja, Vayu and then Mana. And Amurta Dravyas are Akasha, Kaala, Dik and Atma. Next, what is Nitya and what is Anitya? Akasha, Kaala, Dik, Atma, Mana and Tanmatra Rupa of Chaturveda Bhutas. And Anitya is Karya Rupa of Chaturveda Bhutas. So this is important. Next, what is Vyapaka or Sarvavyapi and what is Avyapaka? Sarvavyapi means that which presents everywhere, like Akasha, Kaala, Dik and Atma. And Avyapaka is Prithvi, Up, Teja, Vayu and then Mana. So this comes under Avyapaka. And Sendriyam, Chetanam, Dravyam, Nirindriyam, Achetanam. Never to forget this. And Chetana Dravyas once again further classified into like Bahirantara Chetana Dravyas and Antas Chetana Dravyas. Bahirantas Chetana Dravyas means both internally and externally they show the actions or they show the existence of a living. And there are 4 types: Jarayaja, Andaja, Swedaja and Udvija. So Jarayaja, you know the example, so read examples for all these things. Next, these are also called as Jangama Dravyas. So this word or the synonyms is utmost important. Next, Antachetana Dravyas, externally they can't show the motions or externally they can't express the feeling, but internally they'll be also having life. So such things will be called as Antachetana Dravyas. Vanaspati, Vanaspatya, Virudha and then Aushadhi. Vanaspati, so only phala, like without any sorts of pushpa. And Vanaspati and Vanaspatya refers to pushpa and then the phala, means both will be there. Next, Virudha, Valli Gulma Virudha will call it as generally the creepers. And Aushadhi, Palapakanta Aushadhi, that which dies after fruiting. So that is what we'll call it as Aushadhi. Next, Achetana Dravyas are once again of 2 types. Remember this number. One is Pranija and one is Bhauma. Pranija refers to Pravala, Mukta and then Shankadi. Next, Bhauma refers to Parada and then Gandhaka, minerals and metals. So, and remember this flow chart. Karya Dravya is divided into Chetana and then Achetana Dravyas. And Chetana Dravya further divided into Bahirantas Chetana and Antas Chetana. They also have further 4 classifications each. And Achetana is Bhauma and then Pranija. Pranija refers to like Mukta and then Pravala, Shanka, all those things. And Bhauma refers to all the minerals and metals like Dhatu and then Paradas, all other things. And next, related to Panchamahabhuta. And Panchamahabhuta, you know the Utpatti. What is Mahabhutas, all those things. Mahanti Bhutani, Mahabhutani. And the Sukshma Swarupa of this Mahabhutas will call it as Tanmatra. And related to this, the Utpatti of Mahabhutas is also important, and the definition like Bahirindriya Grahya Vishesha Gunavatvam Bhutatvam, this is important. Suppose if they ask individual like Prithvi Mahabhuta, then also you need to write as an introduction what is Mahabhuta and what exactly its definition and how the Utpatti had formed. In just an half page you just represent that answer, and later on you can go for what is Prithvi and what is Guna, Karma, classifications of all those things. And these are all few theories or how exactly the Utpatti of Panchamahabhuta has been occurred. And here the many theories, but the important one is you need to remember this reference of Shankaracharya and then the Charaka. Tesham ekam gunam purvam gunavriddhim pare pare purvam Purvaha Purvaha Gunaschaivaha Kramasho Gunishu Smritaha. So this is Uttarottara Bhuthanu Pravesha of Utpatti of Mahabhuta according to Charaka. And there is one more, Dvidha Vidhaya Cha Ekaikam Chaturdam Pratamam Puna. This is also important. When Utpatti is asked, these are all the 2 things we expect. So that's why. And these 2 theories. And related to Sushruta, so what exactly he had accepted. So that might be a question in MCQs, like Uttarottara Bhutanu Pravesha and Anyunyanu Pravesha according to Sushruta. Like so, Sve Sve Dravyeshu Sarveshu Vyakta Lakshana Mishyate. So this is important. And what are the gunas and then the mahabhutas? Like Akasha will be having the Shabda guna, and Vayu Mahabhuta will be having Shabda and then the Sparsha, Teja, Shabda, Sparsha and then Rupa, and Jala, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa and then the Rasa, and Prithvi will be having all the 5 gunas. Or along with all these things, there will be Gandha guna. So next one, moving on to first one, I'll just explain one Mahabhuta. So later on, like you can read rest of the Mahabhutas in the same way. Prithvi Mahabhuta. So there is a pattern for writing Prithvi Mahabhuta whenever they have asked it for 5 marks. And for 10 marks, you can expect like all the Pancha Mahabhutas along with the Utpatti, they may ask. But for 5 marks, yes, one or the other question related to Mahabhuta will be there. And Prithvi Mahabhuta and all other things are most expected, like Prithvi, Agni, Jala. And Akasha doesn't have classification, and the weightage of asking Akasha is less. But it doesn't mean that they are not supposed to ask, they may ask. But Prithvi Mahabhuta, whenever you are writing any sorts of Mahabhuta, follow this. Like first thing is, you may give introduction related to Mahabhutas, like how exactly the Utpatti had happened, that flow chart. And after that, you can go for what are the definitions or derivations of the word Prithvi. Next, you can go for classification, and then Guna Karma of Prithvi Mahabhuta. And lastly, you can say like application point of view, that is Sharira Avayavas. So this is the pattern classification. If you have read the shloka, well and good. If you have not read, at least a flow chart of that classification is important. So let us go through with Prithvi Mahabhuta. Tatra Gandhavatihi Prithvihi. So this is the Vishesha guna of Prithvi. So what does that mean? The Gandha is the peculiar guna of the Prithvi, and Tamo Bahulam Prithvihi. So the one which is related to Trigunas. So next one, Rupa Rasa Gandha Sparshavati Prithvihi. So related to gunas, Samanya gunas. And Prithvi Veda Sadvividaha. So Prithvi is of 2 types, Nityam Anityam Cha. So one is Nitya and another one is Anitya. Nityam Paramanu Rupam. Nitya is Paramanu Swarupa, and Anitya is always Karya Rupa. Punastrividaha. Further it is divided into 3, Sharira, Indriya and Vishaya Vedat. One is related to Sharira, one is related to Vishaya, and one is related to Indriya. And Shariram Asmadhadinam. Sharira refers to this Sharira, particular Sharira, or Panchamahabhuta Sharira. And Indriya refers to Gandha Grahakam Granam Nasakravartihi. So Grana, so here you can consider as Grana Indriya. And Vishayo Mrut Pashanadi. Vishaya refers to Mrut and then Pashana, that which is available on the earth. And this flow chart, remember this flow chart. And if you have not bahated the shloka, so please write this flow chart in the exam. And the Parthiva Dravya Guna and then Lakshana, here there are like Visheshika. According to Visheshika, we have in separate gunas, and according to Charaka, what exactly they have here, Charaka refers to Ayurveda. So what exactly the gunas they have accepted, that also you can represent. But I suggest to read this Prithvi gunas, so that if they ask any specific gunas in MCQ, so then you will remember. So this is one more the tricky level of asking MCQs, and remember this Vaisheshika gunas and then Charaka gunas, Charakukta gunas of Mahabhutas. And next one, Sharira Avayavas, and related to karma of Parthiva, like Prithvi Bhutas, the reference of Charaka Sutra. So this is also important. Just go through with the word meaning. It is enough. And Parthiva Sharira Avayava, yes, this is once again very important for MCQs. Stulam, Sthiram, Murthimat, Guru, Kara, Katinavangam, Nakhasti, Dantamamsa, Charmavarchaha, Kesha, Shmashru, Loma, Kandharati, Tat Parthiva, Ganto, Granamcha. So if they ask what is the significance of understanding this Panchamahabhutas in Ayurveda, if they ask that question also, you can able to write this. So if you have bahated, if you have not bahated, at least read the what all the terms comes under this Prithvi Mahabhuta. So if you read that, it will help for both MCQs and LAQs. And next one is Jala Mahabhuta, the same pattern, and the important one is to remember the Jala Beda. And Tejo Bhauta also same thing, Agni Mahabhuta, so and its classification. And repeatedly they have asked Agni Mahabhuta, I think 3 or 4 times, and even the Vayu Mahabhuta, Sadvivida Nityam Anityam Cha, so here also Punas Trividaha, 3 variety, Sharira Indriya Vishaya Vida, Shariram Vayu Loke, Indriyam Sparshagrahakam Tvak Sarva Shariravartihi Vishyo Vrukshadi Kampana Hetuhu. This is important. Shariranta Sanchari Vayu. There is one more Vayu which do the Sanchara within the body, and that which is cause for the prana. Such a echo, and it is further divided into 5 types. And Bedhat Pranapanadi Samnyalapate. So we have further classification starting from Pranapanadi. So till the Apana. And Akasha Mahabhuta, remember Akasha is Eka and it is all pervading, and there is no classification for Akasha. So that is what the important specification for Akasha you need to remember. And related to practical application, you can write Sarvam Dravyam Panchabhautikatvam, or else we also have like Lokapurusha Samyavada, so that also you can include here. And there is the few things like Mahabhuta and then Asadharana Lakshanas, like for Prithvi Mahabhuta we have Karatva, and for Jala Dravatva, and for Teja Ushnatva, Vayu Chalatva, and Akasha Apratigatatva. So this one Apratigatatva, and all these qualities, anything may come for MCQ, so remember this also. And next one, predominant gunas and then Mahabhutas. This is related to 3 gunas. So Akasha is for Sattva, Vayu is for Rajo, and Agni is for Sattva and then Raja, Up is for Sattva, and Prithvi is for Tamogunas. And there are few other collective points also, just go through with that. And Indriyas and its relation with the Mahabhutas. Akasha Mahabhuta for Shrotrendriya, Vayu Mahabhuta for Sparshanendriya, Tejo Mahabhuta for Chakshurendriya, and Ap Mahabhuta for Rasanendriya, and Prithvi is for Granendriya. Here the one more thing which I suggest to read is the typical definitions. So this you need to remember. Wait, let me tell you. Shabda Gunakam Akasham, Shabda Guna Bahula Akasha, and next Sattva Bahulam Akasham. These are all peculiar definitions which you need to remember. Next, Ruparahita Sparshavan Vayuhu, and Rajo Bahulam Vayuhu, Anushna Shita Sparshavan Vayuhu, and Tejo Mahabhuta Ushna Sparshavat Tejaha, and here Shita Sparshavat Apaha, then Tejo Rupaha Sparshavat, then Ushnaha Sparsha Tejastu Syadrupam Shuklam Bhaskaravam. This is also important. Bhaswaram, sorry. And Jalamahabhuta Sattvatamo Bahulam Apaha. Then Rupa Rasa Sparshavati Apo Dravaha Snigdaha. Here also Tatra Gandhavati Prithvihi. These are all some peculiar thing which they have said only for that particular Mahabhuta. So that is also important. And the next one, so Shadrasas and the relation with the Panchamahabhuta. So Madhura Rasa, there will be existence of Prithvi and then Ap Mahabhuta, then Ambla, Agni and then Prithvi, Lavana, once again Ambu refers to Jala and then Teja, and Tikta, Vayu and Akasha, Katu, Teja and Vayu, and Kashaya, Vayu and then Prithvi. So before going for Kaala, let me revise this one, Darshanas. That time I had forgot to explain about Darshana. So Nirukti of Darshana, Drishyate Aneneti Darshanam. So to view or to visualize or to view the perceptions of the people or group of people, or to view the perception of the society. So that's what we'll call it as Darshana. And regarding the classification of Darshana, there are 2 types. One is Astika Darshana and the another one is Nastika Darshana, and you can also consider Astika Nastika Darshana. And Astika Darshanas, there are total like 6: Nyaya Darshana, Vaisheshika Darshana, Sankhya Darshana, Yoga Darshana, Vedanta, which is also called as Uttara Mimamsa, and Mimamsa Darshana, so that is Purva Mimamsa. This is important, Uttara Mimamsa as Vedanta and Mimamsa Darshana as Purva Mimamsa. So they may confuse you in MCQ for that purpose. And next is, who was the profounder of this Darshanas? Nyaya by Akshapada Gautama Maharshi, Vaisheshika by Kanada Maharshi, Sankhya by Kapila Maharshi, Yoga by Patanjali Maharshi, Vedanta Darshana by Veda Vyasa, and Mimamsa or Purva Mimamsa Darshana by Jaimini. And Nastika Darshana is Charvaka Darshana, and Astika and Nastika Darshana is 2 types. One is Jaina Darshana and another one is Bauddha Darshana. And Nastika Darshana, that is Charvaka Darshana, profounder is Brihaspati, and Jaina by Vardhamana Mahavira, and Bauddha Darshana by Gautama Buddha. And related to Darshanas, what exactly you need to read means, like three peculiar points you need to, or the three significant point to increase the quality of answers. The first thing is, suppose if any darshana, the foremost thing is who was the profounder. And next, what exactly some collective points related to Vaisheshika Darshana, at least minimum of 10 principles. And later on you need to write what is similarity of this Darshana with Ayurveda, and what exactly dissimilarity of this Darshana in Ayurveda. And the final point, that is application point of Darshana, is what is the contribution of this particular Darshana in Ayurveda, or how this the few topics which is mentioned in Darshana, like how it is contributing for Ayurveda. So these are all the few collective points to be remembered in whenever you are writing answers for exams. So Nyaya Darshana, so in a Nyaya Darshana, the basic things like the as a contribution, the first one is Navakarana Dravya, and next one is 16 Padarthas, and there are a few collective points related to Desha, Kala, Pravritti, and Karya, Abhinivritti, Gatakas, and all other things, and also the Pramanas, how many Pramanas they have accepted, all other things. So if you read all these things, it will help you for MCQ also. So make a note of it and read. And Vaisheshika Darshana, the same thing. Whenever we say Vaisheshika Darshana, you need to remember about Srishti Utpatti and then Paramanuvada and all other things. And why it is named as Vaisheshika, and who is Kanada and all other things. And Vaisheshika Padarthas, like what is the change in an enlisting of Padarthas, and what is similarity and dissimilarity, everything. And when it comes for Sankhya, Srishti Utpatti Krama, and Sankhya says many things like Trivida Dukkas and Satkaryavada they will accept, and what is Parinamavada, and 24 Tattvas which accepted in Ayurveda also, and Trivida Dukkha, so all other things. And Yoga Darshana, so what is the word meaning of yoga here? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, will call it as. And what are the few collective points like the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, and there are few other points like why we need to practice with the yoga and how we need to practice with yoga, all other things they have mentioned. So just remember similarities, dissimilarities, and contributions of this each and every darshanas. Next, we have read about Panchamahabhutas also, and now we need to go for Kala. Of Kala Shabda. So before that, go for the Nirupti and then the definition of Kala. Kalana Sarvabhuthanam Sa Kalaha Parikirtitaha. This is the easiest one. And Ka plus A plus La, that leads to Kala, Nirupti. And Sankalayati, Kalayati, Bha Bhutani iti Kalaha. So enough. And remaining thing, if you are very good at behiting the shloka, you can behite extra 2 also. And I suggest this Kalo Hinama Bhagavan Swayambhu according to Sushruta. So it is favorite of mine, very good, and which have an application, the significance levels of Kala, so for that purpose. And what is Kala? And it is one among Navakarana Dravya, you know this. And what exactly, like you also read about fourth dimensional things and related to quantum physics, all other things you can write here. And the Vedas of Kala and Gunas of Kala is important. And according to Vaisheshika Darshana, it is of 5 Gunas of Kala. There are Sankhya, Parimana, Pruthaktva, Samyoga, and Vibhaga. They may give any sorts of MCQ related to this. So, or they may give like Parimana. So, is the Guna of dash. They may include Kala also. So, if you have read, and for many other Navakarana Dravya is also having Parimana. So, I'm just saying one example. So, you need to remember that. Next, Asamvayi Karana for the presence of Paratva and Aparatva with the Dravyas. So, this is also an important point, so which you need to remember. And next, Aupadika Vedas of Kala. So for the purpose of Vyavahara, means for our understanding how we have divided the Kala into. And here you need to read about all those things like one Ahoratra refers to how many hours, and what is Paksha, and what is Akshinimesha, so all other things. So among this also you may expect any one MCQ. So all these things once again in detail you need to read. And what is Rutu? So, and what is Ayana? What is Samvatsara? What is Paksha? Paksha is 15 days, here they have said. And 1 day, that is 1 Ahoratra. 1 Ahoratra is consist of like how many Muhurtas, how many Kalas, Kashtas, Nimeshas, so all those things. What is Nimesha? 1 Akshinimesha refers to blinking of eye, all other things. And Kalohi Nityagascha Avastikascha. So this is another category or another classification. Nitya Kala and then Avastika Vedha. And Tatra Avastiko Vikaram Apekshate Nityagastu Rutu Satmya Apekshate. So this also things. Next, significance of Kala in Ayurveda. This can write by yourself. And if you have understand the concept of Kala, then it is very easy to write all these things. Next is Dik. So the Lakshanas of Dik. Pracyadi Vyavahara Hetuhu Dik Sacha Eko Vibhu Nityascha. Remember this Sacha Eko? It is only one. Though we have classified into many other varieties for the purpose of Vyavahara, but still Dik is Sacha Eko Vibhu Nityascha, which is Nitya, no end, and which is Vibhu, all pervading, and which is of Eka, only one. So these 3 points once again for MCQ. And Disha Desha Sthanam. So we have already read in your Samhita Adhyayana. So where they have said about the Desha refers to Bhumi Deha Prabhedina. So all those things that also you can add up here. And the gunas of Disha or the Dik is Vaisheshika Darshana according to Vaisheshika. So we have 5 gunas of Dik. One is Sankhya, Parimana, Prithaktva, Samyoga and Vibhaga. And Aupadika. So for our purpose of understanding, we divided Disha into 4, 6 and 10 types. So what are they? They had given a picture. So this is very easy to understand once again. So first remember Urdhva Disha and then Adho Disha. This is 2. And next the main one is Uttara, Paschima, Purva and Dakshina 4. And the remaining Vayavya, Ishanya, Agneya and Nairitya 4. 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2. Total we have 10 Diks or 10 Dishas. And regarding significance, how the Disha is used in Ayurveda or what is its way of application, all other things, you can write by yourself if you have read it thoroughly. And next is Atma. We have read this Atma under the components of Ayu also. But here you need to remember what is Sthana of Atma, what is the definition of Atma for our understanding, how we classified into Atma, what is Jivatma, what is Paramatma, and how do you give explanation for Sukshma Atma and then Sthula Atma, and how the Atma Sanchara is, and what is Rashi Purusha and different varieties of Purushas, all other things it comes under this heading. So whenever they have asked Atma or just an Atma in examinations, or they may even ask also like what is Atma, Sthana, Guna and all other things, at that time you need to remember all these points. Jnanadikaranam hi Atma. Whenever the Atma is present, then only the Jnanadikarana is possible. Next Nirukti. Ata Satatya Gamane and Atati Sakhalam Vyapnoti iti Atmaha. So this are all few definitions like Niruktis you can remember. Next Chetanavan Yatascha Atmaha Tataha Karma Niruchate. So this is also important. Next a few Lakshanas you can by any 2. So Jnanadikaranam Atma you might have beheaded by this time, and Samvayana Jnanadikaranam Atmanina Lakshanam. So this is also important. Next Nirvikaraha Parasvatma. Hope everyone have beheaded this year. Nirvikaraha, the Atma is Nirvikara. Parasvatma, here we are talking about the Paramatma and not the Bhutatma. Sattva Bhuta Gunendriyahi, which is having Sattva, and like when it combines with or when it is presenting with Sattva refers to Manas, Bhuta refers to like Panchamahabhutas and its Guna, and along with the Indriyas, Chaitanya, it is responsible for living, Chaitanya Karanam, which is Nitya, then it doesn't have any sorts of end. Next Drishta, that which observes everything. Pashyatihi Kriyaha, it observes what exactly the Kriya which is happening. So this is about Paramatma. Next, this is related to Atma Lakshana. You can say that how you can say the person is really living. So for that purpose this shloka is. So shloka starts with Pranapana Nimeshadya Jivanam Manasogatihi Indriyantara Sanchara Preranam Dharanam Chayat. Remember this, and very important shloka. So just revise it once and go. So once again important factor for MCQ. Next gunas of Atma gunas, you know. So with Atma gunas according to Charaka, we have the Buddhi Adi guna, will also call it as Buddhi, Sukha, Dukkha, Ichcha, Dvesha and Prayatna. And related to Vaisheshika Darshana, the 14 gunas of Atma they have said. So what are all the 14 gunas you can read here. And types of Atma for our understanding we will classify into Paramatma, which is of Ishvara, Sarvajna and Eka. Remember this. And Jivatma is Sharira, which is of Vibhu and then Nitya. And according to Vaisheshika Darshana, he also accepts Jivatma and then the Paramatma. And Nyaya Darshana says that Atma is different in each individual. Everyone have separate one. And there are the few varieties of Purusha, so which you need to read. One is Paramatma, that is we'll call it as Parama Purusha. Next Ativahika Purusha or Sukshma Sharira or Linga Sharira. Next Karma Purusha or Chetana Sharira. And Ativahika Purusha is important one. Then Shadhatvatmaka Purusha, for whom we'll give a chikitsa. So you know Kadaya Chetanam Shashtha Datavha Purusha Smritaha Panchamahabhuta plus Atma. That's what we'll call it as Shadhatvatmaka Purusha. And Chaturvimshati Tattvatmaka Purusha you have read in Darshana, and the same thing here. Like there are 24 tattvas. What are they means? Ashta Prakritis, that is Avyakta, Buddhi, Ahankara, Panchatanmatra. Manas, Pancha Indriyas and Pancha Karmendriyas. Here Pancha Jnanendriyas and Pancha Karmendriyas and Pancha Indriya Vishayas. So that's what togetherly we have 24 Chaturvimshati Tattvatmaka Purusha. And related to Manas, so Manaha, for that Nirukti, Man Jnane Bodhaneva and Manyate Jnayate Buddhyate Anena iti Manaha. And the sthana of Atma and then the Manas, hope you know, that is Hridaya. And the definition of Manas, Lakshanam Manaso Jnanasya Abhavo Bhava Evacha Satihi Atma Indriya Arthanam Sannikarsha Navartate. Remember the word Sannikarsha. Sannikarsha means when the Manas combines with all these things, and then only this Jnana or then only gaining of Jnana is possible. When the Manas is not combined with any one of the thing, then obviously the person cannot able to gain any sorts of Jnana. And Atmendriyartha Sannikarshe Jnanasya Bhavo Abhavascha Manaso Lingam. Manas can able to gain two varieties of Jnana. One is Bhava, already I have said, existing things knowledge. And Abhava, that which is not existing, that also the knowledge you will get. And there are a few other shlokas, so if you can able to memorize, yes you can. If not, at least remember the Sanskrit terms. And synonyms of Manas is important once again for MCQs. Athindriyaha Punarmanaha Sattva Samyakam Chetaha Ityavureke. Remember Cheta, remember Athindriya, remember Ubhendriya, and Sattva also you need to remember. And Manas is called as here they had given. Amarakosha gives Chit, Chetaha, Hridaya, Swanta, Rit, Manasa as paryaya of Manas. So this is also important. And Guna of Manas, it is of Dvau Guna. So what are they? Anutvam cha Ekatvam. Anutva and then Ekatva is the two gunas of Manas. We also have Trigunas, but Triguna is Sattva, Raja and Tama. So you need to check in an option and then only you need to go for. Next, Sattva, Rajascha, Tamascha Gunaha, Prakriti Sambhavaha. And Vaisheshika Darshana explains 8 gunas. There are Sankhya, Parimana, Pruthaktva, Samyoga, Vibhaga, Paratva, Aparatva and then Samskara. Next, Vishaya and Karmas of Manas. So Manas is most expected for 5 marks, or if any of the other questions is clubbed, then they may come for the LAQ also. And why it is special means we have a nyayas to prove the existence of Manas. That also you need to add up to improvise your quality of answers. And along with that, Vishayas and Karmas of Manas, and then Gunas of Manas, and also what is Sattva, Raja, Tamascha Guna of Manas. All these things you need to write. Chintyam Vicharyam Uhyam cha Deyam Sankalpam Evacha Yat Kinchit Manaso Jnayam Tat Sarvam Hi Artha Samyakam. So this is Vishayas of the Manas, and Indriya, Vigraha, Swasya Nigraha, all other things. And Uhya Vicharascha Tatha Paraha Buddhihi Pravartate. So this is related with Vishayas. And Ubhayatmaka of Manas, you should know this concept. What is Ubhayatmaka of the Manas? Means it gets combines with Atma also, it gets combines with Indriya and then Indriyartha also. Like Sannikarsha, the same concept they have said here. And Manas as Vedana Adhishtana, only when the existence of mind is there, then only you can able to feel Vedana. So for that purpose, they had given this. Next, Panchabhautikatva of the Manas, you know everything is made up of Mahabhuta. And is it Manas is also made up of Mahabhuta? That concept will be cleared here. Read this. When the significant question is asked, at that time you can add up all these things. Next, role of Triguna in the Manas, like why the Triguna is at most necessary. You know about the Kaya here. Prakriti, Manasika Prakritis, all other things that you need to remember. So mainly we have the three types of Manasika Prakriti. One is Satvika, and the another one is Rajasika, and the another one is Tamasika. Satvika is of 7 types, Rajasika is of 6 types, and Tamasika is of 3 types. What are they? That name is given here. So please go through with it and remember. Once again, there is chance of asking in MCQ. So total, like how many things they have said means 16 in Sushruta. Okay, so they won't ask Acharya wise, but at least you need to remember what is the thing they have said. And Tamas as 10th Dravya, how? The justification. They may ask in SAQ. So, or like it is desirable to know, or they may ask in MCQs also. So, what is Tamas? And Tamas is, will also always call it as Andhakara, or something which is ignorant or ignorant things, only that thing will be considered as tamas. And how we can prove the existence of tamas means based on this, based on Triguna of the Manas. And if the tamas is there, the action will be like the less possible, or there will be no action at all. So that's the thing they have said here. And a few Darshanikas, they argue that the tamas is also an dravya, and they also, like, the few will say that tamas cannot be considered as 10 dravya, and tamas can be considered as 10 dravya. Why means here we are winding up with navakarana dravyas, and karana dravyas are only 9, which is responsible for creation of this entire universe, and whether the tamas can be included one or not. So that was the question. So few will say yes, you can include, because like karana dravyas action will also present in tamas, and few will say no, you cannot include because of its andhakara. So it is left to you, like go for some of the points, and if you like find it yes it is 10, you can give a significant, like you can mention an application by saying this. And Bhatta Mimamsaka and Vedanta Darshana considered Andhakara as 10 dravya, important for MCQ again. And why means because of its Nila Rupa and Chalana Karma. So because of this, the Mimamsaka or the Vedanta Darshana considered the Andhakara as 10th dravya. But Nila Rupa is not a guna, and it destroy, like it will get destroyed by itself. This Andhakara will get destroyed when the Prakashaka, like Sattva, is present. So that's why it cannot be considered as tamas as in 10th dravya. So that was the vada of some other darshanas, but according to Vedanta they will consider it as 10th dravya. This is the only particular points which you need to remember, and few other collective points are there, so you can read it by yourself. And next is Guna Vijnaniyam. Once again, the another second most important in first paper. So Guna Vijnaniyam, here we will be reading all the gunas, 41 gunas total. So, and what its significance and how it classified and all other things. The most expected question, once again, the define gunas, and what is the importance of the gunas, and classification of the gunas. And lakshanas, moving on to lakshana of guna. Before that we'll finish the nirukti. Guna amantrane, that which attracts, we'll call it as guna. And gaunatvat gunaha samnyakam. So gaunatvat refers to like that which is very negligible in relation with dravya, or once the dravya is there and as a secondary the guna will be present. So such things will be named as qualities. And lakshanas of guna, you can had 3-4 definitions, but this is important. Samvayitu nishcheshtaha karanam gunaha. So this nishcheshta word is important once again for MCQ. What is nishcheshta? Dravya, guna, karma, anything they may give. So samavayitu nishcheshtaha karanam gunaha. The guna is that something which is nishcheshta, no action at all. Guna is quality and karma is action. So that's what the meaning of this. And few other definitions, if you can bahat, is well and good. Vishwalakshanam gunaha, which is important. And nirgunaha, the gunas of dravya, shri, nirguna, nishkriya, gunatva jati, all these things you can give one single read. And classification of guna, total, as I said already, 41 gunas according to Ayurveda, and Vishesha Darshana accepts 24 gunas, but we are reading this 41 gunas along with 24 gunas. And how they have classified means here, like the gunas are classified into Vishesha gunas, that is 5, Samanya gunas, and then Atma gunas, that is 6. And Samanya gunas are further divided into Karmanya Samanya gunas, that is 20, and Paradi Samanya gunas, that is 10. Clear? So Vishesha gunas are 5. What are those Vishesha gunas? That is considered as Sartha gunas. So Sartha gunas are Shabdha, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. And next, Karmanya Samanya gunas, also called as Sharirika gunas or Gurvadi gunas, there are 20. And this 20 is Guru, Manda, Hima, Snigdha, Lakshna and their opposite, Sandra, Mrudu, Stira, Sukshma and Vishada and their opposite one. And this is also called as Samanya Guna. All these synonyms are important for MCQ. Next, Buddhi Prayatna Atma Gunas, which is also called as Buddhi Prayatnadi Guna or Buddhyadi Gunas. So there are total 6: Buddhi, Sukha, Dukkha, Ichcha, Dvesha and Prayatna, which is also called as Adhyatma Gunas. Next, Paradi Samanya Gunas. So this is Paradi, total 10, which is also called as Chikitsa Gunas. So there are Paratva, Aparatva, there are 10. Paratva, Aparatva, Yukti, Sankhya, Samyoga, Vibhaga, Prutakva, Parimana, Samskara and Abhyasa. So like the most expected question in exam, and that too highly expected, is Paradi. And after that, Sartadi, Vishesha Gunas, not to get confused, Paradi Samanya Gunas and Vishesha Gunas. This is also called as Sartadi and this is called as, and if the question paper was still to be tough, they may ask Gurvadi Gunas and their opposite, total 20 Gunas. And Atma Gunas sometimes, or Atma Gunas, one question will be there for MCQ at least minimum because of its weightage. And everything comes under must know. So classification of Gunas, their synonyms, all of the things you need to remember. And Vaisheshika Gunas or Vishesha Gunas or Artha Gunas or Sartadi are 5. What are they? Shabdaha, Sparshascha, Rupamcha, Raso, Gandhascha, Tadgunaha. So Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. Individually, yes, there are chances of asking it, or else collectively also they may ask. So Shabda, Shrotrendriya Grahyo Gunoho Shabdaha, that which you hear through Shrotrendriya, that guna will be called as Shabda. Sadvivida, it is of 2 types. One is Dvanyatmaka and the another one is Varnatmaka Cheti. Dvanyatmaka refers to Dvani, that is Beryadho. Varnatmaka refers to Samskrita Bhashadi Rupa. When you do Uchchara of some words, and that's what we'll call it as Varnatmaka, alphabets, that is Varnatmaka. And Dvanyatmaka means any sorts of music instruments. So what exactly sound you hear, that is what we'll call it as Dvanyatmaka. Remember this flowchart. And here the Shabda Beda is important. Shabda is of 3 types. Samyogaja Shabda, that is combinations of 2 things. Next, Vibhagaja Shabda, when you break something you will get a sound. And Shabdaja Shabda, so that means the transmission of sound from one place to another place. So that's what will through Vichitaranga, means through the vibrations we have a waves, no? So that's what we'll call it as Shabdaja Shabda. Next is Sparsha Guna. Twagindriya Matra Grahyo Gunaha Sparshaha. So by twak or by skin, what exactly you can feel, that's what we'll call it as Sparsha as a guna. Satrividaha, it is of 3 types. Shitha, Ushna, Anushna Shitha Vedhat. One is Shitha, the like a Jala, and one is Ushna, like a Tejas, Agni, and Anushna Shita, like Prithvi. And Rupa Guna. Chakshur Matra Grahyo Gunarupam, through the Chakshu, like what exactly you can sense, that's what we'll call it as Rupa Guna. Tacha, Shukla, Neela, Pitha, Rakta, Harita, Kapisha, Chitra Vedat. So this is important for MCQ once again. And these are all 7 types they have mentioned. First one is Shukla, Neela, Pitha, Rakta, Harita, Kapisha and Chitra. Chitra refers to the mixture of all. And Rupa is Vishesha Guna of Agni Mahabhuta. So this is important. And Rasa, Rasana Grahyo Guno Rasaha. So by the help of Rasana, the tongue, what exactly you can able to sense, that's what we'll call it as Rasa. Sacha, Madura, Ambla, Lavana, Katu, Kashaya, Tikta, Vedhat. So total they have said Shadvidaha or Shad Rasas. So what are they? Madhura, Ambla, Lavana, Katu, Kashaya and Tikta. There is a change, little change in the order compared to Ashtanga. And here the like what exactly significance of this rasa, that also you need to remember. Tatradhyam Maratam Nanti, you have read already in Samhita Adhyayana, that you need to remember. Next, Gandha, Grana Grahyo Guno Gandhaha. So Grana, through your nose, what exactly you perceive, that's what we'll call it as Gandha. Sacha Dvividaha, this is very important. Surabhi and Asurabhischa. Here Surabhi and Asurabhi. Surabhi refers to that which is of good smell and Asurabhi refers to that which is of bad smell. So all these things which is related to Vaisheshika Gunas or Vishesha gunas or Artha gunas, and which is also called as Sarthadi gunas. And the next one is the Gurvadi gunas. Gurvadi gunas, which is also called as Vimshati gunas, Karmanya Samanya gunas, and which is also called as Sharirika gunas. And Gururmanda Himasnigda Shlakshna Sandra Mrudustiraha Guna Sasukshma Vishada Vimshati Sa Viparyaha. Hope you have heard this shloka. And opposite of this you need to remember. If you have read this shloka in Ashtanga, now it will become very easy. Yasya Dravyasya Brahmane Karmani Shaktihi Sa Guruhu. In the same way, Yasya Dravyasya Langane Karmani Shaktihi Sa Laguhu. So all these things and their opposite qualities you need to remember. Once again, very important for MCQs. So anything they may ask you, and through like which will be very specific, and they may give you example also, like the kshira is which guna. So even that might be a question, or else they may ask you like lekana, which one, or shamane karmani shakti dash. Shamane karmani shakti is manda, and likewise the many questions they may raise. And all the shlokas, if you have added one shloka also, well and good. And there are the less chances of asking it for long essay LAQ, but there are more chance of asking Gurvadi gunas for MCQs. So for that purpose you need to remember all those things. Next one is Atma gunas, which is also called as Buddhi Prayatnanta guna and Adhyatma guna. And coming to Buddhi, Sarva Vyavahara Etur Jnanam Buddhi, the jnana which is responsible for all types of Vyavahara, or to communicate or to do any sorts of the thing, the Buddhi matters, no? So according to that, they had given the shloka. And Pratyaksha Vyavasayaha, so remember this. And all the varieties of jnana comes under the Buddhi itself. And Buddhi can be classified into two varieties. One is Smriti, that is Maranat Smritihi, and Anubhava or Anubhuti. And by any sorts of experience, if the person gets jnana, that's what we'll call it as Anubhava or Buddhi. And Samskara Matra Janya Jnanam Smritihi, through Samskara, if you are gaining any sorts of knowledge, that's what we'll call it as Smriti. And here the few classification they have said, the Smriti is of two types. One is Bhavita Smriti and Abhavita Smriti. And getting the jnana during the sleep, that is in dreams, that's what we'll call it as Bhavita. Means you will imagine something and you will get the Smriti according to that. And Jagraha Avastha means when the person is awake, and that's what we'll call it as Abhavita Smriti. And Anubhava is the jnana obtained through direct perception. So previously you have seen the snake and now you know how exactly the snake will be. So that's what we'll call it as Anubhuti, and it is of two types. One is Yathartha Anubhava and Ayathartha Anubhava. Yathartha Anubhava is true knowledge, and it is what we'll call it as Prama. You will read it in second paper. And Ayathartha Jnana is Mithya Jnana. Remember this? Ayathartha Jnana is Mithya Jnana. It is of three types: Samshaya, Viparya and Tarka. So these three are once again important for MCQ. And Sukha Mano Anukulataya Vedaniyam Sukham, will call it as, or Anugraha Lakshanam Sukham. So if you have bahated the shloka, so this one, especially Atma Guna, will become very easy, just like Paradi Gunas. So for that purpose, like if you bahated, well and good. If not, at least remember the Sanskrit terms. Next, Dukha Mano Pratikulataya Vedaniyam Dukham, or Upagata Lakshanam Dukham, Sarva Paravasham Dukham. So that which bothers the person, or that which gives the Pratikula Vedana. So for the manas, that's what we'll call it as Dukha. Next, Ichha, Ichchaha Kamaha, the desire, that's what we'll call it as Ichcha. And Swartha Parartha Va Aprapta Prarthana Ichchaha. So the desire to get the Vishayas either for oneself or for the others, that's what we'll call it as Ichcha. And there are many other things like Ayush Kama, so that itself is a Ichcha, getting an Ayu, or Ichcha of gaining an Ayu. Next, Dvesha, Prajwalanatmako Dveshaha, the hatredness or envy towards anyone. And Krodha Dveshaha, when you see that person you will get an Kopa, so that's what we'll call it as the Krodha. And Prayatna, Kritihi Prayatnaha, the effort or the continued effort, what exactly you put in order to gain knowledge, all other things, that's what we'll call it as Prayatna. So among all these things, individually there is less chances, but togetherly they may give like Atma Gunas for SAQ, small answered questions. And next one, Paradi Gunas. Paradi gunas or paradi samanya gunas or chikitsatmaka gunas also they may ask. So there are total 10 in number. Shloka paraparatve yuktischa sankhya samyoga evacha vibhagam cha prataktvam cha parimana mathapi cha. And samskara abhyasa ityeva gunaha jnaya paradayah. So all these things togetherly we can make use in chikitsa. So that's why we will call it as chikitsatmaka gunas. So they are total 10. What is paratva and aparatva? Paratvam pradhanatvam, that which is pradhana or significant, we'll call it as the greater one is paratva, and aparatva is apradhana, which is less significant compared to paratva. And one example, you can read any one example related to desha kalava yomana paka virya rasadishu paraparatve, any one you can read. Next, yukti, yuktischa yojanam yati yujyate. Yukti is nothing but the planning. And so you have also read some application point of view for yukti, like matrakala shri yukti hi siddhir yukta pratishtita is that shloka also you can include here, or anything to plan, that's what we'll call it as yukti in one example. Next, sankhya, sankhya syat ganitam, the mathematics of the numbers we'll call it as sankhya. Ekatvadi vyavahara hetuhu sankyaha, that is important. Next, samyoga, yogaha sa samyoga uchyate, the combinations or the dvandvaika sarva karmajo. So when you combine two things, that's what we'll call it as samyoga. Next, vibhaga, vibhagastu vibhakti syat viyogo bhagasho graha. This is once again important for MCQ. Next, something to separate is considered as vibhaga, something to join will consider as samyoga. Suppose you are giving a medicine, combining, that's what we'll call it as samyoga. We are dividing one medicine or removing the, like separating the medicine and then giving back, that's what we'll call it as vibhaga. Next, pruthaktva, pruthaktvam syad, the samyoga vailakshanyam anekataha. So here asamyoga vailakshanyam and anekataha. So that's the three terms, coin terms for prutaktva. Next, parimhana, prutaktva means the differentiation, you can call it as. Next, parimhana, parimhanam punarmanam, like the parimhana is considered as the measurements or the mana. Like we have a Kalinga mana and then Magadha mana, no? So these are all the two varieties, the quantitative measurements. So that's what we'll call it as parimana. We can consider like we have the few things, Anu, Dirga, Mahat and then Rusva. All together we'll call it as parimana. Next one, samskara, samskaram karanam mataha. So any sorts of the karana or the means of the manipulations of guna. So that's what we'll call it as samskara or the changeover. Like samskaro hi gunantaradhanam uchate. One guna was present and now you have totally changed into something else. So that's what happens because of samskara. And like agni samskara, toya samskara, abhyasa. Bhavabhyasanam abhyasaha shilanam satata kriyaha. Karma is one among Shad Padartha. You know there is an Shad Padartha, so Shad Karanas. Among that, the Karma is the third one. Like we have finished Dravya, Guna, and now we are under Karma. And that which is responsible for Gati or any sorts of the action, so which resides in Dravya along with the Guna, and that's what we'll call it as Karma. Karma is nothing but the actions. Next, Kru Dhatu. So this is a derivation or Nirukti. Kriyate iti karmaha. Very important one you need to remember. And definition of the lakshanas of karma. Samyoghecha, vibhagecha, karanam dravyam ashritam. For the purpose of samyoga, combination, for the purpose of vibhaga. So what exactly these two things, that's what we'll call it as karma. Kartavyasya kriya karma. Karma na anyad apekshate. So the what exactly action which is possessed by dravya, that itself is named as the karma, and it doesn't wait for the another karma to happen. And chalanatmakam karma, so the karma as chalanatmaka or the chalana itself is considered as the one of the activity or one of the karma. And prayatnadi karma cheshritam uchyate, the cheshta or activity which is done by prayatna or initiation of the work. So and next dravyashritam, it resides in dravya. Cha karmaha educhyate kriyetha. So and according to the gunas, it can show its actions. And there are the few other definitions also related to karma, so you can go through with that. And karma bheda, so basically it is of 5 types. So and once again here you need to understand the concept of laukika karma and alaukika karmas. And coming to the karma bheda, basically they have classified into 5, that is utkshepana, apakshepana, akunchana, prasarana and then gamana. So utkshepana, urdhvadesha samyoga etur utshepanam. So the karma through which viyoga of the dravya from adha pradesha to urdhva pradesha means like this. So that's what we'll call it as utkshepana. Next, like lifting of hand, that's what utkshepana. Apakshepana, adhodesha samyoga etur apakshepanam, the karma which causes samyoga of dravya into other. So once again, important for MCQs. And akunchana, towards the body is akunchana. Sannikrishta samyogaha dash, they may ask for MCQ. And next, viprakrishta samyogaha dash, that is prasarana. And gamana, uttara desha samyoga hetur gamanam. So all these things are important once again for MCQs. Next, karma and its significance in Ayurveda, most expected question for SAQ. And there are few other karmas you can remember. Here you need to remember about what is panchakarma, what is shastra karmas, what is trivida karmas, shadvida karmas, what is dvividhopakarmas, all those things, and combinations of all other things related to karma. So that's what becomes the significance. And you need to remember this also. Ityuktam karanam karyam dhatu samyam vihochate. Dhatu samya kriya cha uktam tantrasya prayojanam. That itself is the main karma of this entire shastra. No? So that is also. And moving on to next topic, that is Samanya Vijnaniyam. So you have already read Samanya and Vishesha in Samhita Adhyayana, and the same thing. This might sound very easy for you. So Samanya, definition of Samanya, Sarvada Sarva Bhavanam Samanyam Vriddhi Karanam. Sarvada Sarva Bhavana, mean everything and anything and anywhere, the Samanya is always responsible for Vriddhi. And Samanyam Ekatva Karam, the Ekatva or oneness, that's what we'll call it as Samanya. And Tulyartatahi Samanyam, the similarity which is present in the Dravya, that's what we'll call it as Samanya. Vriddhi Samanaihi Sarvesham, always the Samana Bhavas undergo Vriddhi. Next, Jathau Jatischa Samanyam, this is important again. And Samanya Vedas, the first three types they have said, that is Dravya Samanya, Guna Samanya and Karma Samanya. Dravya Samanya means the similarity between the Dravya, Guna Samanya means similarity between the Gunas, and Karma Samanya, the similarity between the Karmas. So this you have read in Charaka Samhita, and same thing you can represent here also. And this Samanya, once again, the further classifications according to different Acharyas: Atyanta Samanya, Madhya Samanya and Ekadesha Samanya. What is Atyanta Samanya means? The Samanya is seen in many aspects between the two Padarthas. That's what we'll call it as Atyanta Samanya, means the many similarities are present between two. Suppose this is one Dravya and this is one Dravya, and there are many similarities between these two. So that's what we'll call it as Atyanta Samanya. And next one, Madhya Samanya. So very few aspects, not everything, but only few aspects. Next, Ekadesha Samanya, only like minority things. And Ubhayavritti Samanya and Ekavritti Samanya. So this is once again the further classifications. And Ubhayavritti Samanya means in both, or Samanya is seen in Dravyatva and the Gunatva, in both the things. That's what we'll call it as Ubhaya Vritti. And Ekavritti, so the present, like a similarity present only in one, either Dravyatva or Gunatva. For Ubhaya Vritti, best example is Mamsam, Mamsena Vardate. And for Ekavritti, only one thing, like the Gruta is increasing the Agni. So this comes under Ekavritti Samanya. And another classification is Parasamanya and Aparasamanya. Para, paratvam, pradhanatvam, aparam, apradhanatvam. So same thing. And we are moving to Vishesha Vijnaniyam. So, and one more related to Samanya. There are the few things, like the few collective points, if at all, if they ask what is the importance of Samanya, or they may ask like Samanya Vishesha. Togetherly they may ask, and examples for Samanya and Vishesha, so that might be a question. So if you have prepared for Lakshana, and maintain this pattern. First is Nirukti, next Lakshana, next the Bheda and the different varieties of Vedas and examples for each Vedas or classifications, and next last one is significance or importance. So if you maintain this, the 5 points, if they ask for 5 marks, yes, you can able to finish it with quality. And Vishesha Vijnaniyam, so quite opposite to Samanya, that everything is considered as Vishesha. Vishesha is always Rasa. Rasa Hetu Visheshascha, that which reduces or that which brings the Kshaya is called as Vishesha. Next, Visheshastu Pratakatva-krit. Vishesha is always that which separates from one to another one. Next, Visheshastu Viparyaha. Vishesha, that which is opposite to Samanya, is considered as Vishesha. Atyanta Vyavritti Etu Visheshaha. Vishesha is always considered as Etu for completely different features than the Samanya. Next, Sajhatiyebhyo Vyavarthanam, that which is having the peculiar characteristics compared to Sajhati, compared to similarity, that which stands different. That's what we'll call it as Vishesha. This is related to definition. And why we need Vishesha means, Samaparipalya, that which is increased, you need to reduce it, that which is reduced, you need to increase it. For the Samaparipalana, we need Samanya also, we need Vishesha also. That's what the significant is. And Vriddhihi Samanahi Sarvesham Viparitahi Viparya, remember the shloka of Ashtanga. And classifications of Vishesha, that is 3 types. First, Dravya Vishesha, Guna Vishesha and Karma Vishesha. Dissimilarity in Dravya is Dravya Vishesha. Dissimilarity in Guna or the qualities is Guna Vishesha. Dissimilarity in Karma, that's what we'll call it as Karma Vishesha. And there are few other classifications also in Vishesha, so you can refer Charaka Samhita, or we also have one more textbook related to Padartha Vijnana, so in that you can refer it and you can read related to Vishesha. And when they ask what is the significance or importance of Samanya and Vishesha, you need to remember this shloka. Sarvada Sarva Bhavanam Samanyam Vriddhi Karanam Rasa Hetu Visheshascha Pravrittir Ubayasyatho. Next, moving on to next syllabus point, that is Samavaya Vijnaniyam. So Samavaya term is important. Samavaya refers to inseparable relation. And Samvayo Aprithag Bhavo Bhumyadinam Gunairmataha Sanityo Yatrahi Dravyam Na Tatra Niyatho Gunaha. So hope you have highlighted the shloka. And very important one or the other questions related to Samvaya will be there, at least for MCQs. And Samvaya is Aprithag Bhava. Here Aprithag Bhava refers to the relationship between 2 substances which cannot be separated. Whatever it is, if you separate, you will lose the original Dravya, but as such you can't able to separate it. Suppose this is a book, and if I start separating the pages of this particular book, then all the pages togetherly you can't call it as a book, no? So in the similar manner, so Samvaya is Aprithag Bhava, Bhumyadinam Gunairmataha. You can't able to separate the gunas of the Bhumi out of the Prithvi Mahabhuta. Sa Nityo Yatrahi Dravyam, which is of Nitya, Yatrahi Dravyam Na Tatra Niyato Gunaha. So, and like Prithvi Adi Maha, whereas the Dravya, there is no chance of non-existence of the gunas and then karmas, and that inseparable relationship, that's what we'll term Samvaya. And this is important. Samvaya is the relationship between, they had given few examples and there are other contents also, but Avayava and Avayavi, so that is Kapala and then Gatha and Tantu and then the Patha. So these are all few classifications related to Samvaya. And Jati and then the Vyakti, once again, like Gotva Jati, you can't able to separate, and Gatatva Jati. Next, Guna and then Guni, Gandha and then the Prithvi, like you can't able to separate the gunas of Prithvi out of Prithvi. Next, Kriya and Kriyavan, Rukshana Karma from Vayu and Dahana Karma from Agni, Shita Guna from Jala, you can't separate. Next, Nitya Dravyas and Vishesha, like Paramanu Vishesha Padarthas, you can't able to separate it. So that's what they'll say. And Ayurveda, this point is important. Ayurveda accepts Samvaya as one of the Padartha. Okay, the Guna Karma or having the Samvaya Sambandha with the Dravya. So that's the reason why they have accepted Samvaya as one of the Padartha. And next one, the last one, Abhava, concept of Abhava, which is important, the 5 marks, the most asked question. So one or the other questions either from Samvaya or from the Abhava, it will be there. So because Abhava Padartha also they may ask, or else Abhava. Give a short note on Abhava, there might be an like question. Na bhavo abhava, bhava valladdu abhava, means that which is not bhava is considered as abhava. That which is not existing is considered as not existing. It's no simple definition. And there are many application point of view related to abhava. So abhavastu dvida. So abhava basically is of 2 types. What are they? Samsarga bhava and anyonya bhava. And samsarga bhava once again divided into prag bhava, pradhvamsa bhava and atyanta bhava. So prag bhava means absence of the karya before its production. That's what we'll call it as prak. Prak means before. Suppose now we are doing a revision. Earlier the revision was not there. So that's what we'll call it as prag bhava of revision. So and next, They had given example. You can go through any text and you will get it. And pradvamsa abhava. So immediately after completion of this abhava revision, there won't be further revision. Yes, no. So or immediately after completion of your exam, there will be like an abhava of revision or the classes. That's what we'll call it as pradvamsa abhava. Next, atyantha abhava. Trikhalika samsargavachinnaha pratyogitako atyanta bhava. Means absence of substances in all the trikalas. It was not there earlier also, it is not there now, it won't be there in future also. So such things will be called as atyanta abhava. The abhava of rupa guna in vayu. So you can't able to see the vayu. So that's what we'll call it as abhava. And anyonya abhava. Absence of one substances in another. That's what we'll call it as anyonya abhava. There is no tadhatmya sambandha with the pratyogi. One substance is not another substances. Book is not pencil and pencil is not book. So that's what we'll call it as anyonya bhava. You are not me and I'm not you. So that's what the best example for anyonya bhava. And abhava of gata in pata. So that's the thing, anyonya bhava. Classical examples, because the gata and then pata are different entities. So and how abhava and what is the importance of this means. So the best thing is if the person is the healthy, then we'll consider as there is abhava of roga. If the person is having a roga, then we'll consider as there is an abhava of health. So that's what the application of this abhava in Ayurveda. And a few darshana related and all other things they have mentioned in this textbook. So you can refer. This is the marathon revision of Padartha Vijnana, and wish you all the very best for your examination. And if any doubts, please put in the comment so that I can respond earlier. And hope it is helpful for your examination and even for future also. Thank you. And related to paper 2, I'll be doing it in the next like few coming days. Within 2 days, I'll upload the paper 2 revision video also. Please wait for it. And if any peculiar topics you want a revision, yes, you can post it in a comment so that I can prepare for revisions or for the explanation. Thank you once again. All the best for your exams.